I'm James Barfield with YourUrbanConnection.com. Your Urban Connection. And this is a channel that is often imitated but never duplicated. Folks, I want to talk about something that is not talked about enough in our society. I want to talk about little Johnny. Now, who is little Johnny, you might ask? Well, first of all, let me tell you that there are probably millions of little Johnnies around this country. And little Johnny has two problems, and in particular, if he's a member of the United States public school system. Now, problem number one is one that is given too much attention to, and that is the mask mandate. You see, parents and politicians all across the country are paying way too much attention to mask mandates, which they see as being a bad thing for little Johnny. And by doing so, they are vastly overlooking another problem that is even more important and has the possibility of being much more harmful to little Johnny than a mask. And that problem is little Johnny has a problem reading by the fourth grade. Now, this is happening, as I said, all across the country. And there is a study right now that shows that across America, a stunning 43% of fourth grade students in the public school systems are not reading at fourth grade levels. Now, that's an astonishing number. I remember when I was a youngster, the three things we expected from a public education was proficiency and efficiency in reading, writing, and arithmetic. And today, we see in our society millions of little Johnnies who are reading inefficiently. And when you really stop to think about it, the schools K through 12 are passing these little Johnnies right on through their system, knowing full well that their reading skills leave a lot to be desired. Now, let's be factual. In my opinion, little Johnny should have learned to read before he ever entered kindergarten. That's right, he should have learned to read at home. And then when he goes to kindergarten, he learns to improve his reading skills. And certainly by the fourth grade, we should expect little Johnny to be reading efficiently and proficiently. Anything less than that is not acceptable. Now, let's be honest. This study did not break down these inefficiencies and this data by race, but you can bet your bottom dollar. If as a whole, the number is 43%, you can bet that in African-American communities and Hispanic communities, the little Johnnies that cannot read efficiently nor proficiently probably number somewhere in the 60% level. That is totally unacceptable. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to understand that the inability to read efficiently and effectively can do permanent damage to a child's self-esteem, to a child's self-confidence, and you psychologically damage that child for the rest of his life. Because let's face it, reading is going to be one of the things that you're going to be required to do, or you're going to have to do all of your life. So can you imagine what happens when little Johnny has been passed through K through 12, if they make it, because a large percentage of them drop out of school before the 12th grade. But let's say they do make it through, and then they start going out looking for jobs. First of all, some of them, if not many of them, will even have a problem reading an application. So what happens? Many of them will find themselves not being hired. And if they are hired, they're hired by fast food companies at minimum wage. Now, people, we as a society have to realize what is happening. Our public education is, well, let me put it this way, it leaves a lot to be desired. But that's because we accept what they are producing. And let's face facts. Our children and our little Johnnies deserve more and better than what we're getting. After all, these are our tax dollars that are funding public education. Now, let's talk about something. A good education is important to a school system. It's important to a little Johnny, all of the little Johnnies, but it's also important to the workforce, the employers. After all, that is the end receiver of a good education, is the economic engine of manufacturing, retailing, whatever you want to call it. If you want to get a job, a decent paying job, you're going to have some good reading skills, along with some good writing skills, and along with some good arithmetic skills. Ladies and gentlemen, we simply cannot sit back and allow this inefficiency in reading at the fourth grade level to continue. As a parent, we should not be comfortable with a school system that just passes our little Johnny through the system to get them out of their hair. No, we can do better than that. But if we're really serious about it, as a parent, we should do our best to teach little Johnny how to read before he goes into the public schools, before he goes into the kindergarten. Now, if we do our part, then it makes the teacher's job easier, because at least we've got them reading on some level. But if they go into kindergarten not reading at any level, there's no way, I guarantee you, that they're going to be reading proficiently by the fourth grade. It's not going to happen, because in the first place, the teachers have too many students in their classrooms. They cannot give your little Johnny the proper attention that he needs to increase and improve his reading skills to bring him up to fourth grade level. They can't do it. They don't have the time. So you can't send them there with nothing and expect them to, by fourth grade, be reading proficiently. It's not going to happen. Like I said, this is a situation that, for a very long time, I have been confronted with the knowledge that this has been going on. And I have finally reached a point where I cannot be silent on this issue again. Little Johnny must do better in terms of his reading skills. And you as a parent should take complete interest in little Johnny's reading abilities, his learning abilities. Because if you don't, I'm telling you, little Johnny, as an illiterate child, will grow up to be big Johnny, an illiterate adult. And folks, we know what happens when that takes place. So I want to bring attention to this because it appears that nobody else wants to talk about it. It is a problem across the United States. And to be sure, it's a problem here in Wichita. But it's a problem that we are allowing to happen by our silence. Now, you know, I'm talking to all of you parents and sometimes your grandparents. You know, if your little Johnny is reading proficiently, and if your little Johnny is showing a lack of self-esteem, has a lack of confidence, want to be standoffish because he feels he doesn't fit in with some of his peers who are reading much better than he is, and he doesn't feel comfortable. You're doing psychological damage to your little Johnny. So let's take the bull by the horns, folks, and let's take this thing seriously. Because I want to tell you, if you don't, nobody else will. You see those teachers, you see what's happening in the teaching profession right now? Teachers are leaving these public school systems in droves. So what are we getting? Now they've lowered the standards for who can teach in these classrooms. Now, what does that mean to you as a parent or a grandparent? It means your little Johnny is going to come away with even less attention, less efficiency in reading and probably in writing and probably in arithmetic than ever before. So let's buckle down, folks. Let's take this serious. You know, if parents across the country want to take mandated masking seriously, I don't see masking having an effect on little Johnny's ability to read. So you're approaching and focusing your attention in the wrong area. Teachers, I want you to take this seriously. You know, when I was in school, my teachers were old school teachers. But one thing they insisted upon, if you were in their classroom, they insisted that you were going to be able to read and read proficiently by the time you graduated from their class, out of their class. That's not true today, folks. Today, the focus is on getting them out of my classroom, moving them on up the ladder to get them out of this system. And that's not good enough. After all, this is America. We can do better. Let's do it. For your Urban Connection, I'm James Barfield.